Here's the great thing. So before we tee this up, we have two amazing people on here. I have Dave and I have Mike from our latest Premier partner. And though we have some technical difficulties, they have zero on their end. Those are ours today. So I don't want any of that to shadow on them. But I'm just going to kick it off and bring them on board. So I'm really excited to both have them here to talk about Insurance Reach and let them show you what they do. Because in today's world, I don't think lead gen is the problem. I think people getting in contact with people, I think people being able to stay up with the demand, whether it be the consumer, the agent, how to control the information to make sure the right people are talking to the right people and making best use of their time. And I've come to find that in our ecosystem, it's a challenge. So it definitely is in today's busy consumer world, and as well as the same with the agent or financial advisor trying to speak with them. So I'm just really excited to tee this up to David, let him show you his products with Insurance Reach with his partner, Michael. I don't want to take any more of their time. This will be living on our website and our YouTube area. Very excited about promoting them as much as possible. We find their services, their integrity, and their value a 10. And so you'll be hearing a lot more from us about Insurance Reach. But with that, I'm going to let them just take control and let them do what they do.
I appreciate it. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jonas. And
Yeah.
for those that are able to attend live, we appreciate it. For those of you who are listening to the recording, thanks for hanging out with us during some of your free time. So, to help set the stage, I first want to share briefly just some background. So, I sold insurance for 7 years before getting into consulting, excuse me, working with both agents and advisors as it relates to their growth strategy. I spent 7 years at Northwestern Mutual. So I was selling a lot of life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care. And time again, I would see folks fail out of the business at a rate of 85 to 94%, frankly, over a 5 year window. And it wasn't that they were necessarily not hard workers. It wasn't necessarily that they weren't good advisors or agents, but it really came down to one thing. They ran out of people to talk to. They went through their natural market. They struggled with getting referrals. So this product that you're about to see that Mike will share with you is something that has been in our minds for a while as it relates to the problem that needed to be solved. And finally, technology has gotten to a place that has allowed us to take the seed that had been planted years ago and turn it into something that's incredibly impactful. So this tool, Insurance Reach, is powered by the mothership, so to speak, called Wealth Reach. So we have presence in both the advisory space as well as the insurance space. And really, what this tool is looking to accomplish is ensure that not only are you able to surface people in motion, people who are actively looking for you, or people who are actively looking for things related to what you do. So they're online looking up things like life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care, life insurance policies, etc. But we also wanted to make it both incredibly easy, scalable, and personalized to be able to tap them on the shoulder while they're doing their research to ultimately give you an opportunity to help them. So just brief background, me setting the stage and providing some context as to where we started in the industry as well as what we've built to try our best to support everyone who's out doing good work. But Mike, if you want to share a bit of your background, and then let's go through the tool. And because from a live attendee standpoint, it's more intimate today. Please feel free to take yourselves off mute, ask questions along the way, because if it's on your mind, it's probably on someone else's that's watching the recording. So feel free to chime in and interrupt along the way.
Awesome. Thanks, David, and thanks everybody for joining. So my background is actually in software sales. So I started my career in software sales, worked at a couple different startups in Boston. Um, I was always doing prospecting. I've been prospecting for a long time. Cold calls, cold emails, cold LinkedIn messages, all that fun stuff. What I the benefit of me working in software sales was a lot of these companies I worked at always had the cutting edge tech. They had a bunch of money to invest in these tools. We were constantly getting new things on the week, best data, best outreach messages, and that was fantastic. Fast forward to 3 years ago, I joined the Family Wealth Management firm, which is a firm in Long Island, New York. And I noticed that our industry, like the insurance industry, was behind in terms of technology, especially data and making outreach simple. So I initially built Insurance Reach and Wealth Reach as a tool for our firm. We had a ton of success with it, decided to build it out further and launch it to the general public, which is what I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to share my screen here and jump right in. So I really had two goals with the platform when I was building it. The first one was to surface people that are actively doing research right now. And that comes in two places naturally. The first one is going to be people on your website. So what we're able to do is put an invisible pixel on your site. And then from there, we're able to recognize the exact people that are hitting your site down to the name, company they work at. We give you their email, LinkedIn. We even give you their net worth and income data as well, so you could prioritize who to reach out to. And we also tell you where they came from, where they found you. Really, really interested in data there. And you could see people finding you on agent review and popping right over to your website. So really good data there. So just to clarify for these people, these are people that hit your site. They don't need to fill out a form or book a meeting or anything like that. We're able to recognize them when they visit your site. If I click into somebody here, like this guy, Brad, we run an AI research report on every person that views your site. So we give you a really good overview of exactly who they are. We even pull out things like pain points and talking points. For example, Brad celebrated his 20-year anniversary with the Long Island Ducks. Good thing to bring up if you're reaching out. We also show you where we got this info. So we found this info right on the Long Island Ducks website. Gave us a really good overview of exactly who Brad is. We even show you the exact pages on your site that they viewed. So if they were looking at life insurance or whole life insurance or term, you could see exactly what they were interested in and then refine your messaging to reach out for that reason. We also show you the dates they were on those pages and the exact times they were on those pages. So we could see Brad hit my site multiple times. If I come down here and I hit send one-off email, we'll actually draft an email based on this overview and based on the pages Brad viewed. So, for example, if he's looking at whole life insurance on my website, we'll structure the outreach around that and personalize to Brad. We actually recommend not using one-off emails too much for cold prospects. The data tells us most people answer on the second, third, fourth email or LinkedIn outreach, not the first one. But where this is really valuable is when clients are hitting the site. Typically, clients are on the site for two reasons. Either one, they need something, good time to tap them on the shoulder and check in, or two, they're actively referring you. They're literally showing someone your website. So also a really good reason to check in. We handle follow-ups for those cold prospects through personas and lists, which will make a lot more sense later in the demo. Before I move on here, we could filter and search and sort by almost anything. So if I wanted to filter by the page they viewed, just view people that viewed our contact us page but never booked a meeting, really low-hanging fruit people to reach out to. In addition to reaching out to these people via the platform, which I'll show you in a little bit, we could also export this data. So I could export this data to a CSV file. I could drop it directly into ads audiences, and we could run ads to the people that were already hitting your site, greatly reduce ad spend, increase match rates if you're familiar with ads, which saves you money and results in better results. So that's website visitors. Before I pop into our other data source, any questions, David, anything you want to add?
The only thing that I would add is this is incredibly low-hanging fruit. The other thing that I would just make mention of is we can also, as you click into someone in particular, there's a good chance we have their phone number as well. And one thing that I learned being in the insurance space compared to working with advisors is a lot of insurance folks are not afraid to actually pick up the phone and make the call. And that's incredibly powerful beyond just, email or LinkedIn outreach. So people who are on your website checking you out, but not booking an appointment, it's very, very low hanging fruit.
David. I'm going to pop over now to our database. So we have a little over 270 million people in our database. This was the second data source I mentioned earlier. My goal, identify people that are doing research now. What this allows us to do is identify people that are doing research across the internet. So this level of data is new. It's on the cutting edge. And what's cool about it is we're able to see down to the exact person who's doing research on life insurance. For example, I could come in here and I could type in life insurance, select life insurance policies. I'll hit done. And now I have 1.5 million people over the last 30 days that were doing research across the United States. These people weren't on your site or my site. These people were actively doing research across the internet. We're able to take cookie data, point to an exact person, and tell you the exact person that's doing research on life insurance policies. I could click in and see everything they've been researching over the last 30 days to get a really good overview of what they're interested in. You'll see we have some other topics like annuity planning. We also have tons of other insurance topics like property and casualty. I'll just type in insurance here so you can see some of them. So tons of different ones: home insurance, flood insurance, dental, travel, casualty. We could also do combined searches. So if I wanted to find people that were looking at life insurance policies and business insurance, we could do an and search. I have 600,000 people that are researching both those things over the last 30 days.
And I want to emphasize this. This is incredibly important. These are people actively doing research on these topics, and they have not, there's a high degree of likelihood, anyways, that they have not yet talked to anyone. So you're able to come in, tap them on the shoulder before they enter anyone else's sales process. This level of data, even I think you'll be impressed with the way we can reach out to these folks, but just the data alone that you're able to access is insane. If I think back to my days at Northwestern, and if I was able to, access information like this, like it's endless amount of people to reach. I mean, I guess the end is 612,079 people with this particular search. So there
Right.
technically is an end, but the other thing to note is that this data is updated on a daily basis. So there's new people every single day that you're able to surface. So there's 20,000 people just yesterday that were doing research related to life insurance and in this search in particular, business insurance combined. So if I think back to Northwestern, and if I was, did a list on people looking at life insurance and disability insurance, our two core products, it surfaces a ton of people to be able to reach out to.
Couple other things we could do with this data that I'll show you is we could also export it like we did with the website visitors. So I could export these people, drop them into ads audiences, and run ads directly to them. Now, instead of targeting people based on where they're at or the company they work at or their age, now we're targeting people that are actively doing research. Much, much better ads performance.
And so when you do that, that include an email address? So you can technically that can be like a remarketing or targeting type campaign.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have both business and personal email for a lot of people, most people, and we actually triple validate both of them as well. So we're looking at three different providers confirming those emails are correct before we're giving them to you. So that way you don't have bad emails or bad data.
Nice. Do you guys do any CRM integrations?
Yes. So we have HubSpot done. We're working on Salesforce right now, and we're working on a couple others. Anything in particular you're thinking of?
We use GHL. It's a customized version of.
Oh, that's yeah, they're really friendly with their API, so that's an integration that we could build out for you rather quickly. I'm also the guy on the front end that makes the promises that Mike then has to follow through on. So I'm saying it's quick, but Mike, is that quick?
Yeah, no, that is really quick. That's an easy API, 100%.
And the where that makes sense, Matthew, is or how that functions, I should say, is let's say you come across someone in this database or you come across someone as a website visitor, there'll be a green check mark next to their name because either you or someone else at the firm may not know every single client that's a part of the firm, and you don't want to look messy by putting them into a cold campaign. So we make note of that. And then once someone replies and books a meeting, or they say, "Hey, I'm interested, but reach out in a couple weeks," you can just push them directly to your CRM, so you can track them at that point. But we would suggest that you wouldn't take, say, these 20,000 people and put them into your CRM. Like, let them live in here
Yeah.
until they become legit, and then push them over.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Couple other things here. We could filter and search and sort by pretty much anything. So if I want to find people only with $1 million in net worth or more, I could do that. I could filter by income, could filter by age range. I could filter by state all the way down to zip code to get really targeted who I want to reach out to. I could also target people at specific companies or job titles, which is nice as well. So we could get all of these prospects, but then we could really wean down that list to people that are close to us that fit our ideal client profile and then reach out to them via the platform. Before I move on to actually reaching out, any questions? Awesome. So now,
With your CRM integrations, I mean that could trigger the emails though. Things like that could be somewhat automated, right? When there's some well, once they go from the retargeting into, I guess if they go into from the retargeting into the website visitor, but they don't take action, right? That like in there, right? There's a gray area that you could
Well,
kind of collect
Matthew,
them.
don't steal our thunder. We're about to show you how we can email them directly through this system for
Oh, okay. All right,
yeah,
cool.
we can of course push them to like a go
Correct.
high level templated campaign. But the goal for me here, this was my second goal with the platform, was to make really personalized, targeted outreach easy at scale. So that's what this will do. So we have two different campaign types here. Custom campaigns are going to be really good for reaching out for a specific reason, doing B2B outreach. Like if you want to invite somebody to a webinar or seminar, something like that. Persona-based campaigns are what you'll utilize 99% of the time. So we go through during onboarding and we help you build these out. But you'll know what your ideal client looks like. We go from there and we help you build out these profiles to give our AI a really good baseline of exactly what to say. We want to rely on what you give us and the way we should target them over just kind of the assumptions that AI may make. So from here, I could drop people directly into these personas that I want to reach out to. I dropped 8 people into this one. I'm going to select them. They could be website visitors. They could be people from that database. I'm going to let AI handle my goal. And then it's going to ask me if I want to reach out via email, LinkedIn, or both. So we can mix in email and LinkedIn messages, just do LinkedIn or just do emails. I'll do both here. So now what we're doing is we're doing deep research on all of these people. So we're going off on the internet, seeing what we can find out about them. We're going into our database, seeing what we have on them. And then we're also giving the AI the context of what pages did they view on your site. So based on what they're looking at, that's where we'll really tailor in the messaging for each person as well.
And it's also important to note that whether you picked 80, or 800 folks, it takes the same amount of time. You're looking at, maybe 40 to 60 seconds to draft all these. And just to emphasize, this is not templated emails, and this is completely customized on a per person basis.
Yep. So for every person, we got a string of it's a sequence. So starts with a LinkedIn connection request, email, and we can customize all of this and the layout and how many steps we want it to be. I like to show this guy Danny. I noticed this the other day. He's a realtor. Our AI actually went on realtor.com. It went on MLS. It found his listings and referenced those in the outreach. These are real towns on Long Island where I'm from. So this level of personalization, this is what this is what used to take me hours when I was prospecting. I'm sure the same for you, David, to write completely custom messages for every person. That's exactly what we did here.
Yep. And also note too that our demo account that we're using. We rebranded, of course, for Insurance Reach, but the messaging in our demo account is aligned. You may have seen like the CFP designation in one of those emails. It's aligned for the advisor space, but in the actual instances for Insurance Reach, it's all aligned with the insurance industry, just to be clear about that.
Yep.
Um, and then might go through the approval process.
Yep. So what the typical flow would look like for you here is you come through, make sure everything looks good. You can hit approve sequence, and then we get these green check marks. From there, I can hit approval and send, and they go out. Before we do that, we can make tweaks. So we could have the AI make tweaks, and if we want this message to sound more urgent, we could regenerate it, and the AI will regenerate a new message for us. We could also tweak that globally, so all of your messages sound urgent, or just some of them. We could also do the same thing with length as well. So I can make those changes. And I could, of course, make manual changes also, add or remove anything I want to add or remove. Um, from there, once these sequences start, we actually even handle the responses for you. So if I pop into my inbox here, and I'll show you this one, for example, say someone says they want to meet. We actually draft a reply with your calendar link. All you need to do is hit send. If you learn to trust this, you don't even need to monitor the inbox. You could flip a switch in settings, and this email will go out automatically and book you meetings on autopilot, basically. Um,
Hmm.
we even handle negative responses. So if someone handles says get lost or maybe something more choice than that, we automatically add them to a suppression list in your account. That way you don't email them again by accident. So they get marked do not contact. You can also mark people manually do not contact if you want, but we like to have the autopilot there for you as well. Um, Couple other quick things. We do have an analytics dashboard where you could keep track of how your team's doing. If you have multiple people doing outreach, we could see how many emails are being sent, what the reply rate looks like, how many LinkedIn messages are being sent, etc. So we could stay on top of how the entire team's doing.
And then for those who have, oh, you're going to it right now. For those that are a part of larger agencies with a ton of agents, this organization's tab is pretty powerful as well.
Yeah, so we could have one master firm overseeing several organizations under it. So you could have a master user that monitors how the all the agencies under them are doing under one account. So that's what that setup would look like. And that's about it. David, anything to add?
The only thing to go to is I know for me at Northwestern, there were, yep, you already know where I'm going. I had a lot of, folks that I got referred to that weren't ready yet, that just kind of built up my own database. I think I had a few thousand people in there at least. So what you can do is you can take that information, drag and drop it into the lead enrichment, get all their updated contact information, do deep research on each person, figure out of the 3,000, maybe there's 500 that are worth reaching out to based on their demographics. Like one thing I noticed when I was at Northwestern is um, as I moved up market, I started meeting with obviously different and higher net worth folks that had larger insurance needs. And as a result, like some folks in my database, it didn't make sense to reach out to. But of the, 3,000, maybe 500 did for me to reach out. And then 2,500 would have been perfect to be able to send to a newer person at the firm, and then just figure out a split on cases and things of that nature. And then you can use our outreach engine to be able to tap them on the shoulder in a scalable fashion. And then again, one thing I commend my peers in the insurance space is they're not afraid to pick up the phone typically. So being able to trail with phone calls, it's like rather than hey Michael, it's David, friends of Matthew, which was my language when I got a referral. Instead, it's hey Michael, it's David. Did you happen to get the email that I sent the other day about X, Y, and Z? So you're still able to plug in to a degree a nominator, albeit not a person, but you're still able to reference something that you were able to get out at scale. And then boom, you're in a warm conversation. And then outside of that, That's pretty much everything. But would love to, if there are any questions, would be happy to field those now. And then if you are interested in having a conversation offline to figure out how this could work for your business or your agency and the folks underneath you, happy to chat about that. It's just simply InsuranceReach.AI. And that helps book a demo. And then obviously, if you have a good connection with Jonas, I'm sure he'd be happy to just put us in an email together. We can coordinate calendars directly. But if there's any questions, we're happy to field them. But appreciate everyone spending some time today.
Thank you, everyone. On what David just said, we will have this living for an on-demand preview and review in the Premier Partners section, probably by end of day today, if not first thing tomorrow. We'll always make sure to let you guys aware when we have other hosts or we bring back our special guests. So, updates, next steps, various updates and outreach coming forth for the rest of the year. I'm excited to have them here and was excited to capture what they shared. And hopefully, you guys enjoyed your time here and you'll share it with your friends.
Awesome. And before we hop off, let me just do one more thing. Oops, my Zoom screen just overtook my entire screen. Here we go. So Matthew, I just connected with you on LinkedIn, so we can be on there together. Chrissy, I just found you, I believe, assuming you're the Chrissy in Phoenix. Um,
Yes, perfect.
okay, perfect. So I'll send that right now, so we're connected on there, and then John, I am doing the same with you right now, assuming that you're the John in Denver, perhaps?
Arlington, Texas.
Arlington, Texas. Okay. I will dig deeper. With that said, I am easy to find. So if you don't get a connection request in a few moments, feel free to just Google my name and all my stuff will pop up.
Yeah, you can look for Four Tools Financial in Arlington as well.
Okay, noted. Sweet. Well, appreciate everyone's time and look forward to chatting with you offline.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
All right, see you
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.